You found another program and this one looks properly legit. It's 6 days a week, periodization built in, exercise variations you've never even tried. I mean, it's got everything. And you think, this is the one. This is the program that's finally going to do it. And then 6 weeks later, you've missed around 4 sessions. The schedule doesn't fit your life and you're already scrolling through Instagram or YouTube trying to find the next one. And look, the problem isn't that you're not dedicated enough. And it's not that you need more discipline. And it's not that you need a more complicated training structure or a more advanced training split. I've been a personal trainer for over 11 years now. I've delivered over 8,500 one-on-one sessions. I've trained myself for 14 years. And the people I see building the most muscle, getting the leanest and in the best shape, and staying consistent, and never following the most complicated programs. They're actually following the most simple ones. And around 8 years ago, I was doing the complete opposite. I was convinced that to build more muscle and to get in better shape, that I needed to train more days, do more exercises, and find more of a complicated training split and follow the science. And what I actually discovered completely flipped exactly what I thought I knew about building muscle and actually getting in great shape. That story comes first because what came out of those 3 rules completely changed how I train and how I coach, and why the people who actually follow them never need to look for another training program again. And lads, while you're looking at my physique update and looking through some of my training from this day, which I filmed this vlog, I'm going to tell you about rule number 1. We're going to get straight into it. So here's something that nobody in the fitness industry wants to actually do. The best program in the world is completely useless if you can't stick to it past week 3. And I know that sounds pretty obvious, but think about what you've actually been doing. You've been judging programs by how good they look on paper, how scientific they sound if you've been watching Jeff Nippard, how impressive the structure is, not by whether you can actually show up for them week after week after week. I had a client come to me last year and he'd been training on and off for around 4 years. 6-day program, like proper periodization. He had everything, the works. Looked incredible on paper, the training program that is, but he'd never made it past week 4. So what we did when he came to me is we stripped everything back to 3 full body sessions per week. It was nothing fancy. And in 6 months, he made more progress than he had in the previous 4 years combined. And here's the truth about it. A 3-day program done consistently for 6 months will always outperform a 6-day program done inconsistently. Every single time, no exceptions. The program that wins isn't the one which is the most advanced, it's the one you can actually stick to. The amount of times over the years that I've downloaded programs online, bought programs online because of how scientific they were, how detailed they were. And don't get me wrong, it worked for a little bit, but it was just too complex for what I needed. It was just overkill, I guess you could say. And that leads directly into rule 2, because once you understand why consistency beats complexity, the next question is, how do you actually build something you'll stick to? And the answer to that is something most people have completely backwards. So when we delve into rule 2, that is one you don't want to miss, because we're going to discuss exactly that. And by the way, these single arm tricep push downs, I am loving at the minute. I'd highly recommend trying it out. Keep the elbow in front of the body and get a full stretch at the top. They've really been helping my tricep gains. Fucking hell, what a day for it. I tell you what, I've said this before, but in the UK, if it's actually nice weather like it is now, as you can see, blue skies, I would bet that the majority of people wouldn't go on holiday as much, because once it's sunny in the UK, it really is great. It's just, it never fucking happens enough. But anyway, enough of that. Just finished the session, second full body session, gym session that is, of the week. And I'm feeling great, if I'm honest. Probably the best I've felt all year, 4 months in on my Softer-Lean program. And by the way, remember, I've got my completely free 4-week Softer-Lean program linked in the description, which will tell you exactly what you need to do, progressive overload applied. If you don't want to spend 90 minutes in the gym, it's all there. One thing I am doing is, the closer I get to summer, as I've just said, the weather's nice, the more I transition from heavy metal rock music in my workouts to more house and techno music, especially when you're going to Ibiza. I don't know if anyone else does that, but it seems to be, for me, winter is rock, heavy metal music, and the summer, nicer weather, is more towards the house music. So I've finished 3 clients this morning, trained, and now I'm off back home, have some food, and then get on with some afternoon programming. But I'm going to tell you, which is really important, the second rule of this video. And it's probably one you have done at least once, if not more than once, and it's something which I have done as well. And I didn't really realize it was a problem until I was already in it. And if you don't follow the solution to this rule, I can almost guarantee you will not stay consistent with your plan and will not be able to get in the shape you want to be in. So let's move on to that one, because I'm fucking boiling sat in my Black Sea at Ibiza. I'm roasting. Let's get the sun cream out before long for this horrifically pale, pasty skin. It is just gone 12 o'clock and it is lunchtime. And we've got pasta on the menu today. Now, at 30 years old, I try to diversify my meals a little bit. But when I was first starting out, when I was like 18, 19, 20, I used to have pasta every single day. And the missus always takes the piss out of me for it, because I used to have pasta, chicken, or pasta tuna, or if I was really pushing the boat out, I'd have chicken and rice. I think if I was only able to have one meal for the rest of my life, it would be some type of pasta, because you get your carbs in, you can get your protein in, and it's just fucking great. But let me know in the comments below, if you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, or type of food, what would it be? Get a load of that. I mean, I'm not having all of this now, I'd love to, but I'd probably hit a mid-afternoon crash. Key hack with pasta I've noticed is if you're warming it up from, if you've cooked it the night before, for example, it'll always go claggy. So put water in the bowl with the pasta, give it a shake, mix it up a little bit, and then warm it up in the microwave. Because if you don't, it's going to be horrible, stodgy, and it's just not ideal. So make sure you put the water in before you heat it up in the microwave. Trust me, it's a fucking game changer. I don't know how I did it for so long. So let's talk about rule number 2, which is quite frankly really important. So most people build a program and then try and fit the life around it. And that's exactly why it breaks for most people. Think about the last time you started a new program. You probably looked at the schedule first, whether it was 6 days, 5 days, and you thought, I can make that work. And I know that because I've done it a million times over the years. For example, I've told this story before, but when I first started jiu-jitsu about a year and a bit ago, when I came out of the beginner's course, which was around 8 weeks long, it was 3 sessions a week, so obviously that was when I had to go. But then once we were let out into the open against the people who could actually strangle us to death if they wanted to, we could go to any classes we wanted, obviously if we signed up. And Alliance, where I go to up here in Newcastle, they've got loads of classes. They've got early morning ones, they've got midday, they've got evening, so you can pretty much go whenever you're free. I was addicted to doing this new thing. You're a complete newbie again, and you want to start seeing progress quicker. You get the bug for it, and it's something novel. So what I did was, once I'd finished the beginner's course, as I said, I'd only been doing it for 8 weeks. I thought, you know what, let's up it to 4 or 5 days a week. This is along with my gym sessions, along with other forms of training and life, etc. And you can probably guess what happened. Jiu-jitsu is not exactly the nicest sports for the joints. It's definitely not yoga. And I started looking at my schedule and looking at the timetable, and I thought, yep, I can make that work on a Monday midday. I can do Tuesday early morning, I can do Thursday early morning, I do Friday before work, and then if I'm feeling good, I'll go on Saturday as well. And for around 6 to 8 weeks, I was able to keep this up. I was doing 3 gym sessions a week, 4 or 5 jiu-jitsu, and the odd cardio when I could be bothered. But what I found is that I was just getting little niggles, and I was getting little injuries, and then my tendonitis was flaring up, and I started to lose the motivation for it as well. It's because it was too much all at once. And this is what I also figured out around 8 years ago as well. So this is about 6 years before I started jiu-jitsu. When I was building my own gym program, I had it completely backwards. I was building the program first and then trying to just squeeze my life into it. So this is when I was in my early 20s. I just moved up here to Newcastle. I was PTing, and yes, I had more free time than I do now, but I was still setting unrealistic expectations. The people and the clients I've trained over the years who make the best progress do it the other way around. They look at the weeks first, realistically, and they say, how many days can I train? Not how many days do I want to train? And not how many days they think they should train, but how many days can they realistically train around work, kids, social life, traveling, etc. And for most people, 3 gym sessions a week is enough. That's what I do right now. 3 full body gym sessions per week, around 45 to 60 minutes, will do more for your body, I can guarantee, than a 5 to 6 day split you've downloaded online and tried to squeeze it into your life. I can guarantee it. Stop building programs and then fitting your life around them. Build your life first and then build your program around it. This has been an absolute game changer for me, not only with the gym, but as I said, with jiu-jitsu as well. I actually do twice a week at the minute, Tuesday, Thursdays. 1, because my body just can't fucking handle doing 3 or more with gym sessions. I always get niggles, and yeah, it's great to progress, but now I'm getting to the point and I'm just thinking, how much do I really love it? I'm obviously not trying to compete at jiu-jitsu. I do it just because it's something good and it's something new and I enjoy it. But more than 2, it's not happening. But the thing is, once you've got that right, there's still one more piece that most people completely miss, and it's the actual reason most programs work at all. So rule 3, which I'm going to delve into in a minute, is what ties all of this together. And if you don't follow that, the first rule and this rule number 2 doesn't matter at all. So I guess you could say it's quite important. Anyway, enough of that. I'm going to crack on with some client programs, and then we're going to see where the day takes us, because as I said, it's a fucking scorcher up here in Newcastle, and it's only the 8th of May. Right then, it's dinner time, just gone 5 o'clock. I can't be arsed waiting any longer, and we have got the old classic of Nando's. We're not going to Nando's because we're not that cheeky, and I'm not with the lads, and I'm not 14 years old. So we're going to do a homemade Nando's. The funniest thing is, we've actually had a Nando's open up literally about 2 minutes walk from our house. We live over the A1 from a big Tesco where they put a Nando's in a couple of years ago. And when it was getting put in, me and the missus were like, we'll go there every now and again. It's easy, it's nice, and it's only around the corner. But guess what? We haven't fucking been once. Because why would I want to pay 25 quid, or whatever it is in Nando's now, for a chicken, bit of chips, a bit of veg, when I can just make it at home? So yes, we're using the air fryer. We've got chicken with peri sauce, and finally we're figuring out how to actually do chips in the air fryer, because when we first started doing them, they were just minging. What we found is that if you put a little bit of oil on them and then salt and pepper them in a bowl like that first, then mix it up and put them in, they're way better. And then our own sweet corn and then some coleslaw as well. And it's changed the absolute game. And don't forget, we do have the Nando's sauce, the peri sauce, although it is the lemon and herb one because I can't really handle the hot one. I'm a bit of a fanny like that. I can handle a little bit of spice, but not too much. I'm gonna eat this and then I'm gonna tell you the third rule of this video, which is imperative to know. By the way, we've got this absolutely colossal air fryer. You might not be able to see it if the fucking camera, there we go. So it's absolutely massive. Looks like Darth Vader's helmet. I mean like the helmet he actually wears on his head, not his, you know, not what's on the end of his sausage. Anyway, the missus got it sent out because she does a food blog up here in Newcastle. I mean, she's got a few thousand followers, does pretty well. And we never had one before, and obviously everyone was using them a few years ago, and we never got one. Considering we are foodies, I don't know why we didn't, but it's been an absolute game changer and we're loving it. So the moral of the story is get a fucking air fryer, even if it is Darth Vader's helmet. So what is this third rule? Well, here's the part that took years of coaching to say out loud, and it's that exercises don't matter as much as you think they do. And when I say exercises, I mean the literal exercise selection within each session, not exercise as a generic term. And the training split doesn't matter as much either. Neither does the periodization, the rep ranges, the training technique. None of it matters as much as you think it does. There's only one thing that drives muscle growth, and it's the one thing that drives getting leaner as well, and it's the one mechanism sitting underneath all the shiny object syndrome of all these different things which we mentioned, exercise selection, training split, which drives everything. It drives all the results you'll actually get in the gym, and every successful program ever written for that matter. Because around 11, 12 years ago, when I was 18, 19 year old, I used to go in the gym and I used to wing it. I used to YOLO it. I used to go in and think, look, the lat pull down's free, I'll do that. There's a chest machine over there free, I'll do that. Bench press, I'll do a bit of that as well. Don't get me wrong, I didn't make some gains. I'm not saying that I didn't, because I definitely did. And I think part of it was just staying consistent. I was training 5-6 days a week. But the problem was I wasn't really optimizing what I was doing. I knew I didn't have any structure underneath. And I didn't really know the real reason I was making gains. I just thought it was because I was showing up to the gym, which, don't get me wrong, there is a point in that. But the main driving force is progressive overload. So are you lifting more than you did last week? Moving more weight, doing more reps, getting stronger week after week? That's literally it. That's the whole game. And this is exactly why this matters for you. I can assume that you've probably been program hopping over the last few months or maybe even years. I know for a fact you've done it because I've done it as well. And if you're anything like me, it's something which we have a tendency to do. And it's because you thought the program was the thing creating results. And this is coming from me, who's literally got in the description below this video a free 4 weeks off the lean program. But it's not the program which is driving the results. It's how the program is structured. It's the progressive overload within the program which is driving the results. And you can literally apply progressive overload to the simplest plan in the world if you wanted to. But what I recommend, like in the program in the description, is 3 full body sessions per week. I've trialed all of them over the years. Push-pull legs, the bro split, the upper lower, the random selection of exercises. Trust me, I've tried it all, and 3 full body sessions is, for me, the best. And I would say for at least 85 to 90% of you, it will be as well. Essentially a handful of compound movements, sprinkling in a little bit of accessory work because we don't want to miss out on the arms, and getting stronger on each of these every single week. And that's what I've been running with myself and my clients for years now. And that's exactly what I went back to around 8 years ago when I stripped everything back, when I asked myself, what is the actual driving factor? Do I just need to keep downloading and buying loads of different programs from people on YouTube or Instagram? What is the actual thing which is going to get me results? And the people who understand this never need to look for another program again, because they stop chasing the perfect plan and trying to find the perfect plan online. They just chase progress. And don't get me wrong, as I said before, this is rich coming from me. But the reason I created the 4 weeks off the lean program is because it's as simple as possible. It's literally on Google Sheets. It's free. I'm not trying to sell you anything here. You don't have to download it, but I've got progressive overload built in so that you can track your lifts, track your sets, track your weight, so that you should be making progress. And that's the shift. It's just from program hopping to progressive overload, from complexity to consistency, from looking for the next thing to building something that actually works for my body and my life. Now, you know these 3 rules, but here's the thing. Even with the simplest of programs in the world, most people still can't stay consistent. And it's not because the program's wrong, it's because of 2 specific reasons underlying that have nothing to do with training. And if you recognize yourself in anything I've talked about today, so for example, the on and off cycles, the buy-in and looking for the perfect program online from YouTubers or Instagram, or the starting from scratch and feeling like you should look better than this by now from all the time and effort you put in, then that video somewhere over here is the one you should watch next.